Now, I'm not ready to give up on Karrion Kross based on the fact that it hasn't been a year since he's been brought back. I don't know why people think that every name that Triple H brought back, it's like, why did you expect them to be a world champion like right away? It's like, no, like Kross has to pay his dues. What has Kross done to earn a mega push from anybody? He has to pay his dues. But I still stand by the fact that I still think Kross can be a star. But the creative is awful right now. It's a huge mess. It makes zero sense based on the fact that Raw has a heel singles champion. SmackDown has 2 heel singles champions, which means Kross ain't doing nothing because he can't do nothing. Look, Triple H does not book heel versus heel. How many times must we go over this? Maybe you think heels versus heels can work, but he don't. So stop talking about it. Heels versus heels does not work under Triple H. He does not believe in heel versus heel. Hence why we've never seen Kross and Gunther. Hence why we've never seen Theory face a heel as a US champion. He don't do that. That's the point. But Kross, he's like Brock Lesnar, which means it seems like he's irrelevant based on the fact that he's not going after any titles. That's Brock Lesnar. Look, I love Brock, but let's be real. The only time we care about Brock is when he's going after a title because he is a prize fighter. Same as Kross. Kross was never in the mid-card down in NXT. He was pushed right away as a world champion. Kross was a prize fighter. That's all he was doing, was going after the world title down in NXT. That's how he was booked. That's how you must book him. You can't book him as a guy that's not going after titles. He's a prize fighter just like Brock Lesnar. So that's why we don't see Kross all that often, because it's hard to book him when he's not going after titles. That's why SmackDown's a mess and Raw is a mess, because there is 2 agendas. You must make Gunther the Ring General dominant and strong. There is a Roman agenda where he has to hold that damn belt for 1,000 days, which means nothing. Bro, I don't care about 1,000 days. Like, that's irrelevant to me. I don't care about that. But he is their narrative. So, bro, you can't push multiple heel monsters on one show. So that's why Kross has to take a back seat right now. But it's like, bro, you gotta be patient. Eventually, Gunther will drop that belt to somebody, but it has to be to a face. Gunther has to be beaten by a face. That's why Kross ain't doing nothing. That's why LA Knight ain't doing nothing. Because all other champions are heels, right? So you can't book them strong as you might think you can. Because those 2 guys gotta take a back seat until all the heel champions lose. Because if SmackDown had a heel mid-card champion, if SmackDown had a face mid-card champion, that's when we could see the potential from Kross. If Raw had a mid-card champion, that's when LA Knight can possibly challenge him. But they can't. So look, how the hell would you book him? So how the hell would you book Kross and LA Knight? You can't book them too dominant as a heel, because that might overshadow Gunther. That might overshadow Theory. That's why they gotta take a back seat. That's why they are losing and we don't see them all that often doing big things. Because they gotta wait until all the heels lose their titles. then that's when we will see the potential from Kross and LA Knight. Okay, so by your logic, how the hell can Kross be a star right away if there is a Gunther agenda and a Roman agenda on the same show? Dog, SmackDown is 2 hours. How much time does Kross have in 2 hours if they are building around two monster heels? Kross is a monster heel. They gotta wait until Gunther drops the belt. That's when we will see the potential from Karrion Kross. But we can't. So, like, how can you book him strong? Like, right away? Bro, there's not that many top faces for Kross to face to get him over. See, all you idiots, bro, all you idiots who were celebrating Roman going over 1,000 days possibly, it's like, bro, he is holding back Kross. He is holding back LA Knight. He is holding back other heels on that show. Because if you are building around one guy, that means all the other heels on that show gotta suffer and take a backseat to him. Listen, you same idiots who are celebrating Reigns going over 1,000 days are the same numbskulls that are crying about why does Brock Lesnar feel like a mid-card guy? Why is Triple H booking Brock awful? Bruh, by your logic, he can't fight for a title. Like I said, he's a prize fighter. If he's not fighting for a title, it's hard to book Brock as a big deal. If he's not main eventing shows, of course Brock will feel like he's irrelevant. If Reigns was to get beaten by Cody Rhodes, we wouldn't be here. Brock would challenge for a world title, but he can't. My God, I'm gonna say it for the millionth time. At last year's SummerSlam, do you know what the stipulation was for that match? If Brock was to lose, he can never challenge Roman Reigns for the world title until Roman drops those belts. Last time I checked, Reigns won. So that being said, Brock can never challenge for a world title until Reigns gets beaten by somebody else. So how can you book Brock, right? To me, Brock is kind of being exposed. He don't matter unless he's challenging for a world title. That's Karrion Kross as well. See, all you marks love Brock, right? But you need to take one fact into consideration. The only time we care about is when he's challenging for a world title in the main event. If he's not, he is irrelevant. But how can you book him, right? How can you book Brock strong or make him relevant if Reigns is holding both belts hostage and Brock literally cannot challenge him? Like I said, Reigns holding those belts is holding back the whole roster, is holding back Kross, is holding back Brock. Now Brock is irrelevant. He's a mid-carder now. Are you happy now? Brock Lesnar is a mid-carder because of Reigns. Literally, Brock Lesnar is a mid-carder. He is in that mid-card in every pay-per-view now because of Roman, right? Damn it, you numbskulls hate Cody, but at the same time, you are helping to bury Brock Lesnar because he is irrelevant without a world title. That's Karrion Kross as well. Karrion Kross needs challenge for titles to be relevant. Those two guys are prize fighters. That's why it was a bad thing that Reigns beat Cody. That was a bad thing. Because now the whole roster is suffering if your name ain't Gunther in theory. Listen, Kross and Brock are prize fighters. Brock is irrelevant right now. Kross is irrelevant. You don't care about those guys because they're not challenging for no titles. And it's all because of Roman Reigns. If Roman wasn't dropped these belts, then we will see Brock and Kross challenge for titles. But we can't. How the hell would you book him? How can you book Brock if he's not in a title picture? on a weak roster. He doesn't have that many guys to work with as it is. So when you don't book him in title feuds, he's boring. Same as Kross. Kross seems boring when he's not challenging for titles. Same as Brock Lesnar. That's why it was a bad thing that Roman beat Cody. But would a draft help? No. Like, a draft is not going to help anybody until Roman drops these belts. Kross will do the same thing he's doing now on Raw. Why? Bruh, there's no world champion. So it's no different. A draft ain't gonna do a damn thing if Roman has both belts and he's barely showing up on these shows. That's what I mean. Him having both belts is a bad thing. There shouldn't be a draft. Why? If Roman is holding both belts hostage, there should be what's the point? What kind of impact would Kross make on freaking Raw? Nothing. That's what I mean by Roman is holding back these shows. All for a damn record. So stupid. But to get to the LWO, now, what do I think about the LWO? They got upside. I feel like it's a great concept, great idea, but they got one major flaw. Look, Ray is great. Santos is great. They were made for that group. But when it comes to Raul Mendoza and freaking Joaquin Wild, I'm like, bruh, those two guys give that group less credibility. Like crazy. Bruh, those two guys do not come across as threats. I'm sorry. Joaquin Wild is 5'7". That's what I read. Raul Mendoza is just as short. They're like, come on, man. Like, you can't have two damn jobbers in the LWO and thinking we should take them seriously against the goddamn Judgment Day. Let that sink in. Why the hell should we take the LWO seriously against the goddamn Judgment Day? Make that make sense, You got 2 stars and 2 jobbers. Look, I feel like they should kick out those 2 other guys and get Angel Garza and his cousin. Why? Because Garza, his uncle, used to be a member of the LWO. So that makes sense. Look, you gotta have some blood ties to that group. If you add Angel and Humberto, that makes sense because their uncle was in that group. So if you want to make the LWO feel more authentic, add real blood members. Listen, they should take out Joaquin Wild and Raul Mendoza. And here's a weird fact. I don't even know their main roster names. That's how irrelevant those 2 guys are. I don't even know their main roster new names. So look, I would kick those 2 guys out, add Angel and his cousin. Why? They have a great look for that group. And dude, here is a weird thing. I heard that freaking Joaquin Wild is not even Hispanic. I'm like, you can't make that make sense. This dude is a Filipino. Why the hell is he wearing a LWO shirt? Make that make sense. I'm like, Ray, come on, Ray. How can you not know this guy is a freaking Filipino? He shouldn't be in that group. But most importantly, Raul Mendoza is a jobber. So those 2 guys are bringing that group down when it comes to a visual standpoint. Like I said, add Angel Garza, add his cousin. Why not? I'm sure Hector Garza would want his nephews in that group. That will give the LWO some more credibility because they have none. It's like, okay, there's Ray Santos, okay, good. Then you add Angel and his cousin. That will make for a better group. It's like, look, the Judgment Day versus this current LWO. It's like, bruh, it's not gonna draw at freaking War Games. What if they do War Games? It's like, will you care? No. I would not care if these two groups fought at War Games based on the lack of star power from the LWO. Yeah, there's Ray. He's great. But Santos has not gotten over yet. To me, he hasn't. You gotta wait. You gotta wait and see, can this group get over? But dude, their lack of members is not, I'm not buying it. They are not a threat. I'm telling you, man, add Garza, add his cousin, then we would take that group more seriously. Now look, when it comes to the LWO, I'm telling you, man, that group has potential. I would see maybe Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee should be in that group. That's what I mean. You add a Dragon Lee, you give that group more credibility. You can't have two jobbers who don't look threatening. That makes no sense. But overall, the LWO, they got tons of upside. And when it comes to Karrion Kross, I feel like he needs to shave his head, man. Nobody really takes him seriously right now. I feel like it's because of that hairstyle, man. It's like it's hard to take a monster who looks like that seriously with that kind of hair. It's like, look, he needs to go back to the bald look. When he was bald, he looked psychotic. He needs to go back to looking psychotic. Because right now it's like he's giving the fans no reason to fear him. I think it's because of that hairstyle, but he needs to go back to being bald. That's it. I'm done.